Welcome to the Wellness Lab Digest, where we help you to absorb powerful, life-changing insights from top wellness experts with our daily, bite-sized wellness podcast summaries. Each episode is packed with distilled, powerful takeaways to boost your health and well-being. To support this podcast, please scroll down on whatever app you're listening on. Ratings and reviews are helpful. Even better, just send the show to a friend. Or check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page, or simply click the Support the Show link.
Welcome to a deep dive that's going to totally change how you think about moving your body.
Oh, yeah.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
You're about to discover how movement is like deeply intertwined with what makes us human. Get ready to rethink why you move and what it truly means to feel alive.
I love it.
We're taking inspiration from Dr. Rangan Chatterjee's conversation with neuroscientist Kelly McGonigal.
Oh, yeah, Kelly McGonigal. She's great.
And she's not just talking about endorphins and six-pack abs.
This is about the science and the spirituality of movement.
Oh.
Prepare to have your mind blown as we uncover some truly surprising connections.
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay, let's dive in. One of the most powerful stories Kelly shares is about this mother and daughter who were struggling not just with weight loss, but also with their relationship.
Right.
And the interesting thing is that Dr. Chatterjee's prescription wasn't some crazy diet or workout plan.
Yeah.
He simply asked them to dance together for 5 minutes each day. 5 minutes.
That's it.
That's it. Wow. But here's the thing. This tiny act of dancing to music they loved completely transformed their relationship.
Interesting.
They started bonding more, cooking healthy meals together.
Wow.
It was like this ripple effect of positive change that went way beyond just their physical health.
So it wasn't about the steps or the calories burned.
Yeah, exactly.
It was about connecting with each other through movement.
Exactly. And that brings us to a crucial point. Movement isn't just about burning calories or punishing ourselves for enjoying a piece of cake. It's a way to engage with life, express ourselves, and connect with others on a deeper level.
Makes you think about how we often view exercise as this chore, something we have to do to look a certain way or lose weight.
I know.
It's this narrative of movement as punishment that Kelly really challenges.
Yeah.
She encourages us to see it as an expression of our human nature,
Okay.
a source of joy, connection, and even playfulness.
I like that a lot.
So how do we make that shift? How do we start seeing movement as something we actually want to do rather than something we feel obligated to do?
I think music is a great place to start.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly talks about how moving to music we love can completely change how we experience physical sensations. Think about it, that pounding heart you get from dancing to your favorite Lizzo song. It's not a sign of weakness or exertion.
Right.
It's a sign of joy, strength, and empowerment.
Music can reframe our entire experience of movement.
Yes.
Turning something that might feel like a chore into a celebration.
Exactly. And, even if you're not quite at the point where you can fully immerse yourself in the joy of movement, there are ways to make it more enjoyable.
Sure.
Ever find yourself getting lost in a show while working out?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
That's positive dissociation.
Okay.
Your brain focuses on the enjoyment, making the exercise feel easier.
So it's okay to have a little distraction while you're moving as long as it's something that enhances the experience right.
Right. The key is to choose something that genuinely makes you feel good.
Okay.
Scrolling through social media or reading stressful news while working out might actually create negative associations in your brain, making it harder to stick with it in the long run.
I can see that.
But watching something exciting on Netflix or listening to a podcast you love that can actually help you build the habit until your brain starts to associate movement with more intrinsic rewards.
So it's all about finding what works for you and what makes movement feel good in your body.
Exactly. And this brings us to another fascinating aspect of Kelly's perspective. The power of moving together.
Interesting.
Did you know that moving with others actually releases powerful bonding hormones like endorphins and endocannabinoids?
Really? So it's not just about the social aspect. There's actual biology at play here.
Absolutely. These chemicals don't just make you feel good. They also increase trust, make us feel more connected, and even help resolve conflicts.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So going for a walk with a friend or joining a dance class could actually strengthen your relationship.
It absolutely could.
That's amazing.
Kelly talks about the success of group activities like parkrun, which is often described as a social intervention masquerading as a running event.
Oh, I love that description.
It really highlights how movement can bring people together in such a powerful way.
It does. And, when you think about our ancestors, they were constantly moving together, hunting, gathering, celebrating. It was a way of life.
So this need to move together is deeply ingrained in our DNA.
It seems that way, and one of the most intriguing things about moving together is this concept of we agency.
We agency, what's that?
Imagine you're running in a group and you start to feel this sense of synchronicity with the people around you.
Okay.
Your steps fall into rhythm, your breath aligns. It's like you're all moving as one.
Yeah, I can picture that there's definitely a feeling of being part of something bigger than yourself.
Right? And what's fascinating is that your brain actually reflects this expanded sense of self.
Really?
As you move in sync with others, your brain starts processing their movements as extensions of your own, blurring the lines between individual and collective experience.
Wow, that's wild. So even if we're not running marathons or competing in team sports, the simple act of moving in unison with others can create these profound shifts in our sense of self and connection.
Precisely. And that brings us to another important point, intensity.
Okay.
We might be tempted to think that these profound benefits are reserved for those who are engaging in extreme forms of exercise.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not necessarily the case.
That's good news for anyone who might feel intimidated by the idea of intense exercise.
Right.
It means that even small doses of movement can be beneficial, right?
Absolutely. There's no need to compare yourself to marathon runners or CrossFit enthusiasts.
Right.
Any movement is better than no movement. However, it's also important to acknowledge that there can be a dose-response relationship when it comes to the mental and emotional benefits of movement.
So the more we move and the more intensely we move, the greater the potential benefits, especially for things like mood focus and resilience.
Yes. In a way, Kelly shares a powerful anecdote about a woman who was contemplating suicide, but found a renewed sense of purpose and strength through weightlifting.
Wow.
Her story really speaks to the transformative power of movement, even in its most intense forms. It's like pushing our physical limits can also help us break through mental and emotional barriers.
That's amazing.
But even if you're not drawn to extreme activities, it's worth considering what forms of movement light you up, even if they seem a little intimidating at first.
So it's not just about finding the easiest or most convenient way to move.
Right.
It's about finding the forms of movement that resonate with us on a deeper level.
Because that sense of challenge of pushing beyond our perceived limitations is often where we discover our greatest strength and resilience.
This is already so mind-blowing, and we've only just scratched the surface.
I know, right?
I can't wait to hear more.
Oh, there's so much more to come.
Hmm.
Kelly has some amazing insights about how to build a personal movement practice that truly works for you. We'll dive into that right after this.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Me too.
We're back. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty inspired
Me too.
after that last segment about moving together.
It's powerful stuff.
What about you?
Absolutely. I think Kelly's approach is so refreshing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it takes the pressure off, finding that perfect workout.
Right.
And instead, it's all about just finding what feels good and meaningful for each person.
Okay. So how do we actually find that movement that works for us?
Well, she has some really practical advice on this.
Okay.
One of the things she suggests is so simple, but so effective.
Okay. I'm listening.
Choose a song you love and just move.
Wait, that's it.
That's it.
No complicated routines, no fancy equipment.
Nope, just pure, unadulterated movement to music that moves you.
Yeah.
Let your body just respond to the rhythm,
Mhm.
the melody, the emotions,
Yeah.
whatever the music brings up for you.
I love that it takes all the pressure off.
Right.
And it makes movement feel accessible to everyone.
Exactly.
No matter your fitness level.
It's like we're going back to that joy of moving our bodies like we did when we were kids.
Yes, rediscovering that playfulness.
Exactly. And, another great tip is to think about the activities you already enjoy
Okay.
and just find ways to incorporate more movement into those things.
I like that.
So, if you love spending time with animals, maybe volunteer to walk dogs at a shelter.
Well, that's a good one.
Or if you love listening to audiobooks, listen to them while you go for a walk or do some gardening.
Yeah.
It's all about, finding those threads of joy, just weaving them into our everyday lives.
I like that a lot.
Because movement doesn't have to be this separate, isolated thing.
Right.
It can be a part of so many different things that we're already doing.
This is making so much sense. Now we've talked about shifting our perspective on movement. But what about mindset? How do we cultivate a more supportive, encouraging inner voice when it comes to moving our bodies?
Oh, it's so crucial.
Yeah.
If we approach movement with that like self-criticism or like we're punishing ourselves.
Yeah.
We're just setting ourselves up for failure.
Yeah, because then it becomes just another thing on the to-do list, another chore.
Exactly. And that's why Kelly emphasizes self-compassion.
Yeah.
Be kind to yourself. Listen to your body and don't compare yourself to others.
Oh, that's a hard one.
You know, there is no one right way to move.
I think we all need that reminder sometimes.
For sure.
It's not about forcing ourselves into a mold of what we think exercise should look like.
Right.
It's about finding what feels good and meaningful for us as individuals.
It's about honoring our own unique bodies and needs.
Yes.
And it's about giving ourselves permission to experiment.
Yeah.
To try new things and see what brings us joy.
I like that.
Because when we can let go of that pressure to conform, and embrace our bodies and how they want to move, that's when we unlock a whole world of possibilities.
And that's when movement becomes less about achieving a certain outcome.
Yes.
And more about the experience itself.
Exactly. It becomes a way of celebrating life, of connecting with ourselves and with the world around us.
Oh, this is so powerful.
It is.
I'm really starting to see how movement can be so much more than just a physical act.
It's about our well-being.
Yes.
Mental, emotional, even spiritual.
I'm curious to learn more about the science behind all this.
Oh, yeah.
I know Kelly talks about myokines
Uh-huh.
and how they impact our mental and emotional well-being. Can you tell us more about those?
Absolutely. Get ready for this because this is where it gets really fascinating.
Okay, so tell me about these myokines. What are they and why are they so important?
Imagine like tiny little messengers
Okay.
that are released by your muscles every time you move. Those are myokine.
Oh.
And they actually can have a really surprising impact on your mood, your focus, even how your brain ages.
So it's like our muscles are talking to our brains.
Yeah. They're the communication system.
That's so cool. What kind of messages are they sending?
They're sending signals that impact everything from your metabolism to your immune system.
Wow.
Like, for example, some myokines can help regulate blood sugar.
Uh-huh.
They can reduce inflammation and even protect our brains from age-related decline.
Wait, so moving our muscles can actually lead to healthier brains.
It's pretty amazing, right?
That's incredible.
And this is where the research gets really exciting because some myokines actually act as really potent antidepressants.
Really?
They can actually influence the structure and function of our brains
Wow.
in ways that boost resilience and improve mood.
So that feeling of calm and contentment that we get after a workout,
Yeah,
it's not just in our heads.
it's not just in your head.
There's actually like a biological reason for that.
There's a real reason for it. It's these myokines at work.
Wow, some researchers call them hope molecules
I've heard that.
because of their incredible ability to counteract the negative effects of stress and even trauma.
Powerful stuff.
So if we're feeling down or stressed, moving our bodies can actually trigger the release of these hope molecules.
Absolutely. And it's like a dose-response relationship.
Oh, okay.
So the more we move, the more of these beneficial molecules we release.
So you don't have to be like a marathon runner to get these benefits.
Not at all. Even small bouts of exercise can have a big impact.
That's really good to know.
So whether we're, lifting weights, dancing, or just going for a brisk walk,
Yeah.
our muscles are actually working hard to keep our brains healthy and happy.
This is amazing. I had no idea.
And here's another really cool thing.
Okay.
Myokines can actually enhance the effectiveness of other mental health care.
Oh, wow. Like therapy or medication?
Exactly. It's like it primes our brains to be more receptive to that healing.
So it's like this synergistic effect.
Exactly. It creates like fertile ground for change, both physically and mentally.
I feel like we've learned so much today about movement.
Me too.
It's more than just about physical health. It's about our mental and emotional and even spiritual well-being.
It really is. And as we wrap up,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with one final thought from Kelly.
Okay.
Instead of searching for the most convenient workout,
Yeah.
she encourages us to ask ourselves, what movement would genuinely inspire me?
Ooh, I like that.
It's about finding those activities that, spark our curiosity, challenge our limits, and make us feel truly alive.
What video would you be drawn to watch? What activity makes you think, oh, I could never do that, but like there's a little spark of possibility there?
Exactly. It's about pushing beyond those comfort zones.
And discovering what our bodies are capable of.
It is. And that's when the real transformation begins.
Yes.
When we can let go of seeing movement as a chore
Right.
and start seeing it as an opportunity
I love that.
for exploration, for growth, and for joy.
This has been so eye-opening.
Good. I'm glad.
It feels like I have a whole new understanding of movement
Awesome.
and how it impacts my life.
Movement is more than just a physical act.
Yeah.
It's an expression of who we are, how we connect,
Yes.
and a catalyst for growth.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for this amazing deep dive.
It's been my pleasure.
And to all of you listening, get out there and move.
Yes.
Find what lights you up. Embrace the challenge and discover the joy of being in motion. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Lab Digest. If you receive value from the podcast, I have 3 asks of you. 1, share the show on social media with your friends and tag the show at the Wellness Lab Digest on Instagram. Number 2, please leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening on. And last but not least, please let me know what topics you would like us to cover in the future. You can contact me at empoweringmen.org/contact. And right now we have a free ebook to get you started on your wellness journey as well. That's empoweringmen.org/contact. To support this podcast, check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page or simply click the Support the Show link.